top 5 best point guard builds on NBA 2K20. I have 4 out of the 5 best builds myself, and I'll show you guys how to make all 5 builds, as well as after I show you exactly how to make it, I'll show you guys my exact badge layout and the attributes that you have at 99.9, and I'll explain to you why these are all the best builds in 2K20. Now usually I don't do this, but please do me a favor and drop a like on the video. It will really help me out, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and make sure you have post notifications on so you never miss an upload. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright YouTube, it's Quil, and I'm coming back at you with a new video, and I don't really want to waste any time with a long intro. These are the 5 builds that I'm going to show you in order: offensive threat, 2-way slashing playmaker, playmaking shot creator, 2-way 3-level facilitator, and then slashing playmaker. You guys see 4 of the 5 of them are 6'5", but let's not waste any time. Let's get into build number 1, the offensive threat. Now this offensive threat is easily the most overpowered offensive build on NBA 2K20. You can drive with it, you can shoot with it, you can dribble with it. Easily the most overpowered offensive build, and let's get right into how you make him. Remember, every single build in this video is going to be a point guard, just because point guards get more badges than shooting guards. So let's get into the first build. This is a slashing and shooting offensive threat, so you go the green and blue pie chart. You got to pay attention because this is different on every build, but on this you want to go the first pie chart, the one with the most speed. Now copy these attributes exactly how I put them, because this is the way to maximize the best badge count that you can have. You guys are going to see on some things like post fade, you don't max it. You put it down to something like an 86, because 20 shooting badges is perfect. It's the perfect amount for this build, so you get the 5 core shooting badges on Hall of Fame. You see post moves, you go to 52 to get 15 playmaking badges. And this is exactly how you do the attributes to get 15 finishing, 20 shooting, 15 playmaking, and 6 defensive and rebounding. If you need to, pause the video and copy this. Now on this build, and every single one of my builds, I go built. I go built on every single build, but you can go pretty much whatever you want. On this build, 6'3". This is the only build that is 6'3", but I'll explain why. Weight, it doesn't really matter that much. I think I went 176 weight. Wingspan, minimum wingspan. This is a pure offensive build. 6'3" offensive threat, the best offensive build in the game. And then you can go either slasher takeover if you want to run this build on the 2s, or sharp takeover if you want to run this build on the 3s. On my offensive threat, I have slasher takeover, so that's what we went with. And as you guys can see, we built an offensive threat. Alright, so as you can see, I'm on the offensive threat. This is the exact same build that I showed you how to make. Every single attribute is the exact same, and I have this build right now at 99.9. So this is the best that this build could possibly look. And I mean, just look at it. You have an 87 driving dunk, over 90 driving layup, so you get contact dunks, every single contact dunk, an 88 three-pointer, a 90 ball control, and 97 speed. Now for the badge layout, you guys saw it was 15, 20, 15, and 6, just like this, and this is the badge layout that I use in every single game. These are the finishing badges that I use. The 5 core shooting badges that you guys are going to see a lot. Trust me, these badges are just... Use these 5 badges on Hall of Fame. These are the playmaking badges that I usually use. I switch off between Dimer and Floor General, but the rest I keep on gold. And then this is what I run for my defensive badges. So now that I showed you the offensive threat, let me show you the next best build in NBA 2K20. The most all-around point guard build on NBA 2K20. Everybody knows what this build is. The 2-way slashing playmaker. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to make the most overpowered one with the right badge count. Let's get into it. Once again, just like every build, you make him a point guard. And on the 2-way slashing playmaker, it is the orange and red pie chart, the playmaking and defensive. And then this is one of those rare builds that you don't go the speed pie chart. You actually go the speed and vertical pie chart, because you'll get 99 speed anyway using this, as well as 99 vertical. And then copy these attributes exactly, once again, to get the max amount of badge points for this build. You guys see, this is one of the most balanced builds. I mean, it's the top 2 build in the whole game for a reason, and in my opinion, the best overall and all-around guard build in the game. You get 11 finishing, 10 shooting, 20 playmaking, and 20 defensive badges. Once again, copy these attributes to get the perfect badge count. And as I showed you before, I make all my players built. Every single player from here on out will be 6'5", just because 6'5" is the best height for point guards on this game. It's great for 2s and it's great for 3s. And then on this build, I'm pretty sure once again I did 178 pounds. And then wingspan, I would go with default wingspan, where you get 81.6 ball control, or 81.6 wingspan right here. Just keep it normal, and then at your 3-pointer will be a 72 at 99.9, which is really good. And then you see you have a 91 speed, so the +9, because you get +5 from being 99.9, and then +4 from Gym Rat or the Gatorade or whatever you do at the practice facility. And then on this build, you can go either one of 2 takeovers, and that's playmaking or slasher. I personally would go playmaking on this build because I like to pass to my spot ups a lot, but slasher build is fine. Once again, I would go playmaking though, but you can't go wrong with either of them. And you see you have built a 2-way slash and playmaker, easily one of the best point guard builds in NBA 2K20. The 2-way slash and playmaker, you probably see 20 to 30 of these in every single park you're in. Let me show you his attributes. And once again, I'm letting you guys down. This isn't at 99.9, this is only at 99. So most of the time my 3-point at a 72 and I have a 90 ball control, and all these defensive stats are at 90. But regardless, look at his stats. You still have 99 speed even without 99.9, which makes it really, really good. And just one of the most balanced builds out there, and that's why it is the second most overpowered, if not the most overpowered guard build in NBA 2K20. When I say most overpowered, I just mean best, but just look at these attributes. And then the badges, you guys remember 11, 10, 20, 20, just so strong. Pretty much the same finishing badges as the offensive threat, just 1 tier lower on each one. One of the only builds without Hall of Fame shooting badges. You guys see what I use, gold quick draw range extender and hot zone hunter. These are the playmaking badges that I usually run on this build. And then on defense, I have a really weird setup, but this is what I run, and I feel like it's really, really strong and overpowered. But that's the 2-way slash and playmaker. Probably the most popular point guard build out there right now, and let's get right into the next one. And it is the playmaking shot creator. This is the first build that I made on 2K20. It's pretty much the play sharp from 2K19, the playmaking and shooting pie chart. Everybody knows about this build, one of the most common builds, and still one of the best builds in 2K20. Let me show you exactly how to make the best build. As with every build, you make him a point guard. Once again, I go left-handed on every single build, but that's personal preference. And then this one, and then this is the play chart pretty much. So you want to go with the green and orange pie chart, the shooting and playmaking. It's pretty much a play sharp. And then you want to go the speed pie chart. With this build, you will get 97 speed. And then once again, just like every single time, I tell you, copy my attributes exactly. This is a little bit different than my first ever build I made in 2K20. Just a little bit different, right? Just a little bit. And the only thing that's different is I give you way more defensive badges, because with how good you are offensively, these 9 defensive badges that you get, as you see, will come in handy. You don't need finishing, because what you're doing on this build is playing with an inside center, running around screens, and shooting threes. So you see 1 finishing, 22 shooting, 20 playmaking, and 9 defense. And then once again, I go built and 6'5". So at 6'5", and then I'm pretty sure I went 178 pounds, lowest wingspan, so you have an 87 ball control, and then sharpshooter takeover. Sharpshooter takeover is perfect on playmaking shot creators, because once again, all you want to do is run around screens, quick shot, take threes, which is exactly what that badge does for you. It's not a spot up shooter. And as you can see, you have built a playmaking shot creator, the 3rd best guard build in NBA 2K20. And now we're in the park on my playmaking shot creator. Let me show you guys my attributes on this build. This right here, I'm not at 99.9. This is just at 99, so you can add 1 to all these stats. So you can see you'll have a 96 speed, and I didn't do, like I said before, I didn't do the attributes exactly the same on this build that I have right here and on the playmaking shot creator that I showed you. because as you guys can see, instead of having 9 defensive badges, you only have 4, but this is what I was using as on my badge layout. Fancy footwork on bronze for finishing. Once again, the key 5 Hall of Fame shooting badges plus tireless scorer on silver. The playmaking badges that I use 99% of the time on this build, and then the defensive badges that I was using on this build. My first build on NBA 2K20, the playmaking shot creator, still one of the best builds on NBA 2K20. Let's get right into the next one. This is the newly discovered TwoWay 3-level facilitator. Pretty much a lock sharp that can speed boost and dribble really well, and also finish really good. This is a new point guard build that people discovered. It's really strong, and let me show you how to make him. Just like every build, and I say every time, make him a point guard. Handed is just preference. I go left every time. And then this one is the green and red pie chart. The 2-way 3-level facilitator, Hall of Fame shooting badges, and Hall of Fame defensive badges. And then you want to go the speed pie chart so you can get this build the fastest possible, because you do not have 99 speed on this build. And then once again, like I say every single time, copy my attributes exactly so you get the max amount of badges. On this build, you will have 6 finishing badges, 18 shooting badges, 11 playmaking, and 19 defensive and rebounding badges. You see how balanced this build is and its ratings. This build is super balanced. Just wait till I show you his ratings that I have on mine. Once again, I go built. Every single build 6'5". The weight, once again, I'm pretty sure on every single one I go about 178 or something like that. And now this is the only difference between my build and the one that I'm showing you how to make now. On my build, I think I have right here at 81.6 wingspan. No, I have right here 79.8. If I was you, minimum wingspan. You're gonna have good defense regardless, and this is an offensive build. I would go minimum wingspan, and then once again, sharpshooter takeover, because what you're doing on this build is running around screens and shooting threes. So I would go sharpshooting takeover, but you can go playmaker takeover. This is a good lockdown build, but you wouldn't put the attributes like this. This is for point guards if you want to run guards, like the point guard on this build. And once again, I would go sharp. And as you guys see right here, you have built a 2-way 3-level facilitator. Now the 2-way 3-level facilitator is the only build that I'm not done grinding yet. As you can see, he's only a 92 overall. So these are my stats right now, but don't get discouraged. He will have 97 speed at 99 overall. Once again, 97 speed. His 3-pointer will be, well, it'll be different because I showed you guys at the beginning. I'm pretty sure when you make minimum wingspan, he'll have an 84 ball control and an 89 3-pointer at 99.9, which is insanely good. Plus, look at your defensive stats. You'll have 90 defensive stats with those stats on offense, with an 85 driving dunk, 80 driving layup. This build is really underrated. And then I don't really have all my badges, so it's gonna be tough to show you guys, but this is what I'm rocking with right now. I'll just go through them quickly. Once again, the core 5 shooting badges that you want to use for shooting, playmaking badges, you don't really get that many on this build, and they only go to gold. And then defense, this is what I'm rocking with right now, pretty much the same as on my 2-way slashing playmaker. But that's a 2-way 3-level facilitator, one of the most underrated guard builds in the game, and also one of the newest ones. Let's get into the final build in the top 5 best builds on NBA 2K20. And it is a slashing playmaker. No, not the pure playmaking pie chart you guys are going to see. It is a slashing playmaker. I'm going to explain why this build is slightly worse than the 2-way slashing playmaker, but still really good. So you make him a point guard. Once again, your handedness is personal preference. Then this build is pretty much the play slasher, like the slashing playmaker. So you go the blue and the orange pie chart. And then on this build, you gotta go the speed pie chart, and you will have 99 speed on this build. And then once again, copy these attributes exactly how I do them. You guys are gonna see this build is insane offensively, and it actually gets a lot of defensive badges too. But my whole point about this build, and the reason that it's not super OP, is because what's the point of making this build when you can have a 2-way slashing playmaker that not only shoots better than this build, but then it gets Hall of Fame defensive badges. You guys see the badge layout on this: 19, 13, 22, and 9. You guys see it's driving layup and driving dunk. Its 3-point is low. It has a super high ball control. So my point is, once again, this is the last build, and I do not have this build made, so I can't show you guys its attributes in the park like all the other builds I showed. So I want to talk about it now. is what's the point of using this build, which I'm gonna have I think a 92 or 93 driving dunk with Hall of Fame finishing badges, when the two-way slashing playmaker not only gets a higher 3-point, but has the same ball control, gets 99 speed and 99 vert, opposed to this build that only gets 99 speed. But the two-way slashing playmaker has, once again, Hall of Fame defensive badges, and it actually has a higher driving dunk than this build. The two-way slashing playmaker with Hall of Fame finishing and Hall of Fame defensive badges gets a higher driving dunk than this build. But once again, you go build, 6'5", weight doesn't really matter. I think I go like 179 on this build. And then wingspan, I would go right here, 78, so you get the max 3-point. But look at your drive. Actually, no. I'm wrong. You don't get a higher driving dunk on your two-way slashing playmaker. I wasn't adding up the +5 because on mine I have a 92 with the +5, so the difference is 2. I have an 88 driving dunk. No. I have an 87 driving dunk on my two-way slashing playmaker. So it's a 3 difference on driving dunk with this build compared to my two-way slashing playmaker, which there's no reason for this build when defensive builds are dominating the game. But as you see, slashing takeover or playmaking takeover, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't go slashing takeover, right? 19 finishing badges, you get Hall of Fame finishing badges, so you're gonna get Hall of Fame contact finisher. I don't see why you wouldn't want to go slasher badge, but you can't really go wrong with playmaker badge. So once again, I would choose slashing badge, and this is the last build you see. You have built a slashing playmaker. Once again, I do not have this build, so I can't show it to you guys. But if you guys did enjoy this video and make any of these builds, please do me a favor and drop a like. It helps me so much when you guys like these videos. Sub if you're new, and I'm out.